Hello, everybody. So I think we should be good here. Yep. Oh, that is still playing someplace. There we go. That catches me every single time where you have to actually start the video on YouTube in order to stream, and I always forget to turn it off, so I end up hearing myself about 3 seconds after I say something, which always throws me off when I start things. So, I guess we should start by talking about what we're going to be doing today. So, for the past 3-4 streams, I think, we've been looking at what I'm calling some old school vulnerabilities. So the idea was we took a look at some, relatively new style bugs in NumPy and PDF crack, and looking at the Intel CPU errata thing. And I wanted to kind of go back in history. So we've looked at some things that are relatively simple. What if we look for real browser bugs, but old ones? So at least the idea was, let's take a look at Internet Explorer. Let's find an old Internet Explorer bug. So for the past 3 or 4 streams, we went through quite a bit trying to get that up and working. So getting a Windows 95 VM up and running was actually quite a bit more work than I expected it to be. I kind of expected it to be kind of easy to do. And it turns out the best option I came up with was I had to be running VMware because the Hyper-V virtualized hardware just was not supported at all for Windows 95. Again, that's a little bit surprising to me. I kind of expected it to be much more backwards compatible than it ended up being. But after we got that up and running, the next step was, okay, we have this Internet Explorer. Let's try and find some crashes in it. And as you'll notice here, I'm not using Windows 95 anymore. And that's because we did in fact find at least one, potentially 2 or 3 crashes in Internet Explorer 5.5, which is the last version of Internet Explorer that runs on Windows 95. The problem was, and the problem that we ran into pretty quickly, is that the debugging environment for Windows 95 was a complete nightmare to use. So I'm used to having, relatively recent debuggers available to me. I like to have WinDbg or GDB available, or failing that, something reasonably modern. And the best we were able to come up with for Windows 95 was that OllyDebug works somewhat, and we were able to eventually pull core dumps off. Not fully pull them off. There was quite a bit of struggling to get it to work right, but we did get it coming off. Going forward, though, I kind of wanted something a little bit better to set up. So on Monday, we took a look at, okay, supposedly IE55 will run on Windows XP, which has a great debugging environment. It's one that I think most people who've done Windows work are familiar with. I can just run WinDbg and it should just work. So we spent a while trying to get that up and running. And again, that proved a little bit trickier than I expected it to be. It turns out getting old software to run on old but much more modern operating systems was quite tricky. So Monday I had intended to stream for quite a while. My intention had been at least 3 or 4 hours, and we cut it off a little bit early because we got to the point where I was reinstalling Windows XP for the 3rd time, I think. And at that point, it just doesn't make that much sense to keep streaming it. It's boring enough to me to have to keep reinstalling it. I can't imagine how bad it is for somebody who's watching the stream. So, yeah. What we're doing now is, after the stream, so between when the stream ended and now, I finally got that Windows XP VM up and running. So what we see here is a Windows XP VM with Service Pack 3 on it. And the idea is that this should be capable of running the relatively recent Windows SDK. We should be able to run it on here and get things running. And we have this web server set up. It's the, we can't quite see it here. But if I switch over, this is the same, I need to resize this too. So this, come on. You can see where I was testing things before I said it in Vail's chat. Just a little bit farther. There we go. That's lined up again. But we have this VM set up, and it's got the entire Webkit test suite on it. So we did this, it's been, almost a month now since we first messed with these. But the basic idea was that over the years, the Webkit test suite has found, or the Webkit developers have found, what's the count here? Find .-name star crash .html. They found a total of 1,665 different test cases that, when plugged into some version of I'm sorry, I'm blanking here for a second. When plugged into some version of Webkit, actually crashed the Webkit browser. So we don't know for sure what version. At least the output I have right here doesn't tell me which version ended up crashing. But that doesn't really matter to us. So the theory here is that the Webkit test suite gives us a very good corpus of malformed HTML, JavaScript, CSS, browser stuff that should hopefully cause crashes in Internet Explorer. Even though these test cases weren't designed for Internet Explorer, theory at least, is that we're going to be able to take them, plug them into Internet Explorer, and get crashes. And when we did our previous set of streams, prior to trying to migrate off Windows XP, it turns out we were able to validate that. Plugging in certain test cases did in fact cause crashes. And we can actually see that here. So if we come in here, we're going to go to Webkit layout test. You can see I already checked this out relatively recently. We have editing, exec command, and scroll. Format block without body crash. So this was the test case we took a look at, we poked around at a little bit, and eventually decided was probably not going to be exploitable. You can see here, while it definitely has a problem, and we get this aborted message, it's not crashing right now. So there's a few different things that are possible here, but what I suspect is happening is that on Windows 95, for whatever reason, this specific crash we were unable to catch, whereas the on Windows XP, the debugging and signal handling API is much more fully featured, and we're able to catch these and handle them. So rather than having to crash this entire window, it's actually going to tell us about it. Excuse me. It's going to tell us about it, show us an error message as soon as I click OK, and still end the results. Now, we saw this before, and let's see if I can find the proper one for it. If we go back here, it was also in layout tests, but instead of under editing, under JS, where is it? Actually, I can check the history, can't I? We have history, don't we? Yay. So the history here says, maybe I don't have, oh, yes. The JS statement list register crash. we get the exact same type of error message, which indicates to me that this is probably also a crashing input. If you watched the stream where we were doing all the crash analysis, that was the conclusion we came to. So we tried to run through all of these test cases. We plugged them into Internet Explorer, and for at least some of them, we got some odd behavior from the system. It didn't crash, but we got odd behavior. And so this was one of the ones that we had pulled out and said that it's probably doing something funky, but we weren't able to fully validate why, because it wasn't giving us a core dump. And at least this testing setup we had in place then, we didn't have a good way to check to see what was going on. So in any case, it looks about the same, which is good. This looks relatively promising. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to try and get a real debugging setup. Debugging setup. I think that's proper English. So what I'd originally hoped for was that I was going to be able to pull down this right here, the x86 debuggers and tools. But it appears that for whatever reason, that's just not going to work. Like, install? Run? Huh. So that's not going to work. Are we going to be able to use this other SDK, or do I need to go find an older SDK? That'll be at least somewhat unfortunate. You can see here some of the other stuff that we were working on previously. Crap. Okay, let's go grab that real quick before we get too much farther here. Windows XP WinDbg. We're going to come in here, and I want this window quite a bit smaller so we can actually see it. This way. Shrink it down. And this way, shrink it up a little bit. Okay, so this looks good. So, this is unfortunate. I had kind of hoped that it would be really straightforward. So, as part of the ADK, which is the Application Development Kit, I believe, they have the debuggers here. There's this redistributable package, and we have this x86 thing. It's a MSI installer for it, which is what I pulled down here. And it looks correct, but apparently it is far too modern for us to be able to actually use here. Which is unfortunate. It is possible. We can at least give it a try here. Let's just take this. We're going to create a zip folder. We're going to just push this entire, like, debugging folder over there and see if we can just run it. Now, I don't know for sure if this is going to work or not, but at least at this point, it's worth a try, right? Oh, welcome back, Keto and Robin. It's nice to see you all. Okay, so that is that. We've pushed that there. I want a bash instance, and of course we're improperly sized here again. So the problem, at least with bash here, is that I increased the font size, so unfortunately I'm going to have to keep doing this. So I went to scp/mntd adk .zip to 192.168.5.149, put it in the home folder. That is quite large. Okay, I can live with that being quite large. And we had this one, sudo su. We're going to type in my password. And cp. Okay. So that's all copied over. We can pull this down real quick. Oh, crap. cd var www html move webkit /debuggers.zip here. There we go. That is much better. just had to rewrite MS0867 for NT4. Huh. Sounds awful. I can only imagine trying to land some of that stuff. Hopefully we're going to be able to get something relatively straightforward here. It's going to be a little unfortunate if I have to track down a proper debugger for this. I think it's probably easy enough to get done, but we'll see here. Okay, it is on my desktop. I am glad that you're telling me that rather than opening the desktop, but I guess that's good enough. Where do they stick that? Extract all. Next. Yep. Okay. Man, this is taking longer than I expected it to. Like, I would kind of expect extracting a zip to be one of the faster things I do. So I'm a little curious. If you were working with NT4, were you able to just get WinDbg working, or did you have to jump through any sort of crazy hoops for that? So at least here, it's a little bit trickier to find the older versions than I kind of expected it to be. Okay, so we have this. Are you just going to work? No, you are not going to just work. Is this going to just work? Okay, so that does kind of work. And I don't remember how to use it because it's been quite a long time. But remote.exe, how on earth does that work? I do not want Exelon Corp, whatever that is. I want this. So the remote.exe utility is a versatile server client tool that allows me to run command line programs on remote computers. This is not at all what I wanted. I want the debug server thing. What is the debug server thing? Okay, none of this is quite what I wanted. And the bad news is that this is just not working, right? Debug server? Yeah. So... Oh, there it is right there. Yeah, I was afraid of that. So we have the x64 installers, or executables for this, don't we? If we come over here... man, that sounds quite a bit like our experience on Windows 95, was trying to get the debug logs there and use them for something useful. Do I maybe have IDA with its own debugger? I don't actually currently have a valid IDA license. Mine has expired, and at least my current employer is not interested in renewing it, at least for what I'm currently working on. And I'm not in a situation where it's quite useful enough. So, that's unfortunate. We've done that. So, according to this comment, I should be able to select a version. Ah, here we go. I want the Windows XP version, don't I? None of these are what I want. Sure. Oh, I was hopeful that was going to work. Did I manage to get it installed? What was it? So I got Windows XP running, which works. But I didn't get... Currently trying to get WinDbg working. I have no idea what WinDbg.org is. I don't see what I'm looking for. I don't want the Windows 10. Okay, let's download this and see what this does for us. It's quite large. So the reason we're downloading the ISO here is because we can mount an ISO directly in the VM rather than having to like push it across like that. So hopefully this works out pretty well. Because it supports developing on it. We don't know for sure if that means we're going to... I could also grab this while we're at it. This is the Vista one. Do I see anything else? No. Okay. Thanks for telling me. I'm okay. I don't need the a new Surface right now. I'm at least somewhat happy with what I have. Go in from the kernel and switch the process. Yeah, that is an option. Really, I would... I'd really like to have a native WinDbg running here. Hopefully that's going to work. I'm really surprised. Microsoft has always been really good about keeping support for stuff. No, I'm not giving you my location. Sure, we're in North America. You can learn that much. I don't want any of this information. That's unfortunate. I just want the debugging tools for Windows XP. I'm really surprised it's that hard to find them. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens when this finishes downloading. So, hello, Adrian and Paul. It's nice to have you. Yes, so the Immunity Debugger or OllyDbg is something that would definitely work. The reason I want WinDbg is mostly because it's the one that I'm a little bit more familiar with. I think I've probably done more. I've done much more work with WinDbg than I have with OllyDbg or Immunity. In fact, the only times I've used Immunity were when I was working through... What are they? Starts with a B. The Corlan. That does not start with a B at all. But the Corlan tutorials, when I was first learning how to do exploitation on Windows stuff. What did I think that started with a B? But the Corlan tutorials, if you've never looked at them, are really good. Corlan tutorials. I suspect they're probably quite dated by now. Like they were originally written in 2009. But going through the basics of here is an executable, we're going to, put some data into it and get it to crash, talking about how process memory works, things like that. Like, they're great for learning the basics, but like I said, they're from 2009, 2010, so they may or may not be a little bit dated at this point. So we have this downloaded. Let us try and mount it and see where that gets us. So we'll get rid of this install disk. We're going to insert this thing. So what happened? My computer, run this. Okay. So I need the Windows.NET Framework 2.0 redistributable. That word. Can I just skip over that? So if I just want the debugging tools, can I just install this? That looks promising. Yes, I agree to everything for you, Microsoft. Whatever you want. Okay, this is exciting. So this actually looks pretty straightforward. FuzzySec. I'm not familiar with FuzzySec. FuzzySec. Ah. Wow, this is quite a bit of stuff. Yeah, I was not familiar with this before. Look at that. Oh wow, doing RFID stuff? That's pretty cool. But yeah, when I was first starting out, the Corland tutorials were pretty great to look through. They taught me quite a bit about how Windows does things, because it's a little bit less true now, but up until relatively recently, all the CTF stuff was on Linux. I guess we go way back in history. Some of the super early CTF stuff was on Windows, like in the early 2000s. You know, super far back in history being 15 years ago. But, you know, for most of this stuff, that's ancient. So, we have a WinDbg that runs. We have a WinDbg that runs. Oh, this is exciting. Okay, so we have this. We're going to open an executable. We're going to attempt to open our Internet Explorer. And I want iExplore. Nope. Run. Go. Okay. So we have this up and running. We're going to give this a try again. Layout tests. Editing. Exec. Scroll. Format block without body crash. That did not get caught. That's unfortunate. So... Why is that not getting populated? Can I break in? We have multiple threads. And they are not running. Okay. So it is interesting that we have so many threads here. That may have something to do with why we're able to do this. So if we remember, on Windows 95, we only really get the one thread, and it works a little bit differently, whereas for this, we get multiple threads. But this doesn't look... that doesn't look like a problem. What about... How do I do this again? It's been a while since I've used... While I say that I'm more familiar with WinDbg, it's been a while since I've used it, and I want to change it so that we catch any exceptions, rather than letting the program potentially handle them. I thought I could just... there we go. Go handled exception. That sounds promising. That's interesting. So on Windows 95, this definitely caused a null deref, and we took a look at that null deref. We ended up determining that it was non-exploitable, but we took a look at it. Why aren't we getting that now? So one thing that's a little bit of a problem here is I'm not entirely sure what version of Internet Explorer we're running. It's a little bit complicated, but the short version is that I believe we're running Internet Explorer 5.5. However, when I go to help about, it's actually pulling the version string out of the registry, not out of the executable, which ends up meaning that it's just telling me what the latest version is that's installed. So, yeah. what kind of options do I have here? Since this is not going to just work, at least not as easily as I was hoping it was going to, we're going to have to resort to something a little bit more complicated. So the user agent string is still claiming to be a 6.0 variant. But I suspect that is from... it's grabbing the same information, right? So we have... if we come back here, we should actually be able to use procmon now. Because we have an actual, reasonably modern operating system. Yep, we trust you. Why didn't you run that time? Process monitor, run. It's weird that open isn't working like that. Yeah, we have a reasonably modern thing here. So if I go to filter, I want process name is iExplore. Okay. And if I come here, when I refresh this page, I should be able to see what registry keys it opened. And... oh, come on. Failing some of the manual dexterity here. So, Explorer, we have all of these many registry keys that it opened. And let's actually stop capturing events. So it should be a little bit faster now. So if you're not familiar with it, procmon, or process monitor, is a great tool for figuring out what on earth is going on with the system. It hooks into all sorts of stuff and prints out, for example, every single registry key that was opened by iExplore.exe, which is basically exactly what we want. Yeah, if we actually go to that, so user agent string.com, it's telling us that it is a MSIE 6.0 and then crashes, which is interesting. And if we use the native browser, we actually get the same thing. So it tells us it's the same user agent, which is interesting. But these are very clearly not the same browser. My guess is that it's grabbing it from the registry. One thing that I haven't verified yet, it's probably worth verifying. We actually had the information here to look at. Break in for me. Give me your... where is it? It's going to be under memory? No, memory is not what I want. I want modules, or what do we call modules in this? What do we call modules in WinDbg? But it told me it up here, so let's just scroll all the way up here. Oh, this is unfortunate. So we're using the Browse UI, this version. We're using the Browse ELC, the Setup API, the Config Manager, the ATL, Imlang, IPHL API, the Sense API. We're not using the JavaScript API. Huh. Is that included in here? So what we did was we extracted all the cabs, and we are not using all of the same APIs. We want to change this. So there is a jscript.dll in the local directory. Why did we decide not to use that? This might actually explain quite a bit why it decided to work. So let's ask the Googles. Windows XP DLL search order. A DLL with the same module name is already loaded in memory. The system checks only for redirection and manifest. So it should start in the directory from which the application is loaded. Okay. What is this? So I want to turn this off. So what we're seeing here, right, is that we have this safe DLL search mode. The app is running as a child thread from WinDbg. Maybe it's trying to search from the WinDbg. Huh. It's a good point. Well, we are finding some of them. So we're finding some DLLs, but not others, which is odd. My guess is that it's defaulting to the System32 stuff instead of the other ones. The current directory. And that's a problem, right? Because if we remember... Okay, so let's see if I can remember correctly here. The module that we were looking at, which had our crash in it, was... I don't actually remember what it was. Apparently I don't remember. I thought if I saw the name I would remember. Was I running native binary ninja for it? Maybe it will be in my native binary ninja. mshtmled.dll. Which I don't actually even see getting... Oh, there it is. mshtml.dll. And yeah. So it's loading the Win32 version off of it, which is not what we want at all. So this is clearly loading the wrong version. So my guess is that this safe DLL search mode is enabled, because that defaults to the system directory, as opposed to if it's disabled, it goes in here. So what is this thing, and how do we change it? So HTLM, we're going to move this over here so I can actually see it. We go into, that's my host. Down here. Regedit. HTLM. System. Current control set. Control. Key name is Session Manager. And we want the new keyword value. It's, nope, it's not that. It is safe DLLL search mode. Value is 1, 0. So I think this means that we should end up with this loaded the way that we want it to. We'll close all this. We're going to reboot our VM to make sure our registry edits take effect. Give this a try. So, hello, critical damage. How are you? So we're trying to get our Internet Explorer to load the DLLs that ship with it, as opposed to the native ones. Although we haven't tried removing Internet Explorer. it might be worth trying that. So we tried to uninstall the Internet Explorer 6.0 that shipped with XP with no service packs. Let's see if this registry key worked, and if it didn't, we will with WinDbg. And if that doesn't work, we can try it with our other thing. So, I want to load up Internet Explorer again. Explore.exe. We're going to go here. I want Process Explorer. Save it. Save it. Run it. Run it. Yeah, that's cool. I don't care about symbols. All I care about is we have our iexplore.exe. And I want... Oh, wow, this is awful. I want... Where is it? Can you guys hear the vacuuming outside? It appears one of my neighbors is vacuuming right now. A little curious if you can actually hear that on stream. Oh, that's good. So it is interesting, we get a list of all the keys that are opened, but what I want here is the modules. Why does this not list the modules? Is this really not a thing that... I am completely dumbfounded here. Why do you just not give me this? Like, I could have sworn on modern Process Explorer it told me that it was pretty straightforward and was like, here you go, here's the information you want. Like, this is the, like, process module list and things like that. Use IDA debugger. So, I'm not sure how much the IDA debugger would help, because all it is it's just talking over the WinDbg protocol. It's a little bit more familiar for a lot of people. So attached to a process, attached to, sure, this one. Yep. Nope. So this listed out all the modules as we went through, and we are still running out of the System32 directory. Let me make sure that's correct. So if we're in this folder, that's what I'm checking right now. So ms.html.ed.dll was the module that we saw a crash in previously. But let me make sure I'm not being dumb here. Do not hide extensions. Scroll. ms html.ed.dll. Yep. So this is the DLL that we saw before. It's in the current directory, but for whatever reason, according to WinDbg, not the one getting loaded. What do we want to do here? Okay, so we said that if that didn't work, the next thing to try, let's try removing Internet Explorer. So, worst case scenario, I created a checkpoint right when we booted this last time, so we'll be able to revert to that. Let's give it a try to remove the local Internet Explorer. Yoink. We're going to go away here. How does that work? Add or remove Windows components. Okay, for whatever reason, it has decided that it's going to install 56.8 megabytes of information. Okay. Go. So I'm going to, hopefully, we're going to reboot again just in case. Because so many things with Windows, you make a change that doesn't actually take any effect until it gets rebooted. So very, very, very many times I've run into problems where I thought I did something, I can't figure out what's going on, and I didn't reboot. So, we're booting, and we're booted. Let's get this try again. So if I open this up, I go in here, I go iexplore.exe. We're actually going to create a shortcut here. Create shortcut. I'm going to put it on the desktop. We're going to get all fancy here to make it a little bit faster for us. We have this. I want WinDbg. I want you to attach to a process, the Internet Explorer process. I do like that we got PID 1776 here. It's a very patriotic PID number to have. And we still are loading the System32 ones. Okay. We're now going to start with the, well, this is kind of dumb. Let's see if we can break the computer solutions here, which are, we know what DLL it is that we want to have loaded. So we're going to mshtmled.dll. Delete. Okay. So it now should be impossible for it to use that one. So we're going to try this again. And if I attach to a process, we want this one. Nope. Did we actually use the mshtmled out of that directory? What? What's going on here? Okay, let's start with, am I blind? I don't look blind. I see words. Roll F, shtmled. Okay. Go. Editing. That command. Ah. Wait, how? Wait. No. Delete. Okay. I'll buy that that's currently in use, like I'm currently using it. Sure. Nope, we won't save anything. Delete. Yes. Like, that's gone. There's a hole there. We're gonna get rid of you, too, while we're at it. What just happened? I am not deleting System32. What is going on? I deleted that. It went away. What is that? Okay. Okay, let's try this again. Thanks, Windows. I'm glad you're making it so hard for me to completely screw myself over. While I can't make the claim that I know what I'm doing, I do actually want to do that. So we're going to copy this. We're going to paste this. Yes, replace it. Okay. Properties. So this is the one from 2001. I do like that it was created at a date after when it was last modified, but I can live with that. Okay. Here's the real test, right? We expect this to crash. Brrr. What does WinDbg say? So we're connected. It is in fact there. We want to go. Refresh. What the crap? How is this happening? Okay. We're going to reboot in safe mode and see if it does the same thing. I 100% do not understand what is happening here. If anyone has any guesses, I'd love to hear it, but that's not how computers are supposed to work. Like, I kind of expect, you know, I delete a file off the file system, it deletes the file off the file system. Apparently, for some files, it just tells me it does, and then recreates them. Okay, let's see if safe mode works any differently. Oh, safe mode. That always used to be the solution, right? If you ever had any problems, try it in safe mode. Okay, so... Well, so what I'm hoping for here is that we're going to come in here. Maybe we're lucky, and just loading in safe mode is going to use the DLL I want it to actually use. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be that lucky, but it's worth trying, right? Nope. Okay, let's go back to this page and see what we were doing here. So, according to this, it is disabled. The directory is specified by LP file name. What is LP file name? Yeah. Windows file protection? What is Windows file protection? Huh. Aims to prevent programs from replacing critical Windows system files. Protecting core system files mitigates problems such as DLL hell with programs in the operating system. That sounds convenient. Ooh. That does in fact... So, with Windows file protection active, replacing or deleting a system file that has no file lock to prevent it getting overwritten causes Windows immediately and silently to restore the original copy of the file. This sounds like exactly what we saw. The original version of the file is restored from a cache folder which contains the backup copy of these files. Right, so the problem is, like, one of the big problems here is I want a Windows 95 browser bug. I want something that if I went back in time to 1999, I would be able to throw at all of my friends. So it should be in DLL cache. We have that backup. We successfully created a checkpoint, so I am just going to delete this folder and we'll see what happens. Because, I mean, like, what's the worst that happens? That's where it said it was, right? System32 DLL cache. Okay. Maybe in this... Oh, I don't see the options folder. But driver cache. Where is the cache? So... the Windows NT family uses the cache folder Winder System32 DLL cache. I don't see a DLL cache. Oh, apparently hidden folders are still hidden folders. Ah, protected operating system folders. Okay, there we go. Now I should be able to see it? Now I can see it. Okay. Delete. Bye-bye. Yes to all. Go away. So, there's a decent chance that by doing this, I have completely screwed this install. So we may be, about 30 seconds away from reverting to checkpoint. But we'll see. The worst case scenario is that we get to revert to a checkpoint and go from there. So I'm not super concerned, but we'll see. So this apparently is all of the DLLs are backed up conveniently for our protection. So we've now killed all of that. MS-HTML-ED. I want to get rid of this one and this one. Oh, this looks good. Disable it? That's crazy talk. I'd have to look up a registry key. I assume it's a registry key. Oh, was it really that easy? Well, you know what? We've already gotten this far. So it's interesting that it's saying they're write protected now. Where was it? MS HTML-ED. Yes, replace it. Oh, duh. That's why. Sitting here trying to figure out, why can't I copy it over there? There we go. Ah ha 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 ha. That's right. Try and restore it now. Okay. That. So it's working a little bit harder now. So while we're waiting here. So for Ricardo, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get IE55 to work on Windows XP. So this is the Windows, or IE 5.5 was the last version to work on Windows 95. So the goal here, I want a notepad window. We're going to paste that here so I can actually read it. Was the last version that would work. So we ran through the test suite and we got several crashes. The problem is that we don't currently have a good debugging environment to actually do much with it. So right now, we're working on getting that debugging environment set up so we can actually debug some of these crashes. We're trying to revert. What is the CTF directory for? Huh. We're trying to make XP run whatever this is, Internet Explorer 5.5 properly. We're currently running the executable and some of the DLLs, but it's defaulting back to a bunch of like system level DLLs instead, which is odd, but what are you gonna do? Current version, winlogon, sfc disable, and I want this to be FFF 6Fs 90. 1, 2, 3, 90. Okay. So that should also fix our problem. But this is not loading, which I suspect means we're not searching properly. What happens if I add this to our path? So supposedly, it should just search the current directory too, but it seems kind of clear that it's not actually doing that. Does adding a folder to path add it to the search directory? I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Okay. Close. Reload. Which moves the current working directory to after the system directories in search to void. So for whatever reason, we're actually just not loading this. So I deleted the ms.html.dll, and it would appear that this is why this is not loading. Well, I mean, I don't know that for sure, but I'm guessing that, given that it worked, and then I deleted something, and it stopped working. Paste. Yes. There we go. So I think I should actually be able to... Oh, this is going to absolutely break everything. CMD, CD... actually, before I do this, let's test this and make sure. So, layout tests, editing, exec command... Come on. Well, this is promising. We've now... This looks like it's crashing. This definitely looks like a crash. Crashes are good. I like crashes. Nope, that's a crash. Awesome. It's interesting that here it is properly getting the module version like we wanted it to. It is getting the module name. It looks like that works. I want to send this because I hope somebody is checking these crash reports and will be incredibly confused about a version of IE running on Windows XP that supposedly never works. So, we have this. Who highlighted me? Oh. Okay, back to what we were doing. I see this. We've now correctly reported our errors. So, cd into IE, desktop/IE/IE. Okay, cp star.dll. No, it's copy, right? Copy. Copy/f, is that correct? So, again, we're going down this is going to break absolutely everything on this install, but copy/y star.dll c : Windows/system32. So this should solve all of our problems. We are overriding all of the DLLs with the ones that I think are best. We're going to close those and we're going to do this one more time. Okay. So, this still loads, which is exciting. And we were in layout tests JS. So this was the other test that we had that was not crashing. Where is it? Where is it? History. There we go. This one. So this is still aborting, which is interesting. This is still actually getting caught. And if we load WinDbg, we attach to this. We GH. But still thinks it's able to handle those. Interesting. Editing, exec command. Okay, so this still, we're still getting the same, we're still getting the same null deref we were getting before, which I think is kind of to be expected. So, what's next? Okay, so that's that. That works. Surprisingly, that works. Let's see if we can actually reboot into Windows. Like, we've just replaced IE with IE55, more or less. While we're at it, I'm kind of curious if we use the IE6, windowing, can we still use the same DLLs? Ah! Cancel. You are not going to work, I'm sorry. Oh no, we uninstalled Internet Explorer. Oh, that's unfortunate. I forgot we did that. Oh, we're just going to have to use this one. We have this. What's going on? I thought we disabled the WFS stuff. WFS? WFP? I think it's WFP. That sounds right. WFP sounds right. So this isn't loading again. Why is this not loading again? So did it delete those then? If I go regedit, winlogon, SFC quota, or SFC disable. Yeah, we disabled it, right? Why did it tell me about it? We have MS HTML. You're still there. Definitely the version I put there. I want to arrange by name. So we're currently trying to make Windows XP use the Internet Explorer 5.5 DLLs, which it is very unhappy about doing. But it looks like we're close to it. Like, we definitely have that. This finally loaded. Weird that it took so very long to load. And just to verify, if we go editing, exec command, format block without body crash.html. What we expect to see here is we should in a second here get a crash dump. You know, if this works. That may or may not be true. Like, I like to think that's true. Come on. Okay, computer, I believe in you. There we go. Okay, so we have this. We are, in fact, getting the right stuff. We're crashing where we expect to crash. Awesome. Go away. So all of that works. So I think we're about where we want to be. I believe that we are running something reasonably close to Internet Explorer 5.5. The next step is we need to actually rerun some of these tests. So when we were on Windows 95, we tried to run through a whole bunch of tests and failed pretty hard. And unfortunately, all code that I wrote there is on my VMware VM that I'm not really willing to try and boot into, given how much of a pain that is to use. So we have that, we have this. This is where we are. So if I do find webkit -name star.html into file.html. What do we have here? This is a list of all of the HTML files that are considered part of the Webkit test suite. All 54,000 of those. Let's not do all of those. We want /crash. We only want the crashes. What do we have now? We now are down to our 1,665. That's a much more usable number. %s/. Let's remember how to do this. I want this dot star this $, and I want to do, if I have a match there, so I want this, right? I think I still get to do this, right? Nope. I bad at regexing? So I want to match from the start of the line to the end of the line. I want to match the entire line. Why did that? Look into my comments. So what? Oh, that's cute. Apparently I crashed YouTube. That's exciting. It's not the crash I was looking for. I'm sorry. There we go. This is a little bit more of what I wanted, except I wanted the actual thing. Is this the one where I got the... Someone very conveniently commented on I was doing Vim poorly and I should be doing it a regex instead of a macro, but I need to actually find that comment. There we go. It was Luke Richards. And Luke Richards says, oh, that's a very good idea. So I should be able to do that /e colon /192.168.5.149 / there we go. %s / new line. I want it to start with a quote. %s / end of line. We're going to end with a quote comma. There we go. So we want to make a list of these. R is equal to that thing. Document.write R0. We want to also do HTML body script /script. That should be a thing, right? That looks like a thing to me. Which of these windows do I want? I want this window. So, if I have really any idea of how JavaScript works, I think that this should tell me. There we go. Look at that. It's almost like I know how to write JavaScript after spending many hours writing JavaScript not too long ago. Because if you were around for the first of the crash triaging stuff, we spent almost the entire time trying to figure out the proper way to write JavaScript to be able to load this stuff. Oh, this is not the one I want. I want this one. So we don't want to document write. We want to create an iframe. So if we create an iframe for each of these, it should do that. And while we were at it, I should actually be able to come back here and see comments, because a couple different people suggested better things than what I was doing. One of the major downsides to doing streaming this way is that YouTube very conveniently takes all of the comments that are on the stream and then looks at them and promptly throws them away, because apparently why would you ever want to keep track of the comments on a stream? So JavaScript iframe. No, I want to create an iframe and set its location. That is what I want to do. I do not want to do any of these things. I just want to create a new iframe. Trying to think if it's faster to go back and look at what we were doing before. Or actually, you know what? We can just do document.location R0. Right, so this should load the first test, right? Why is that not working? Oh, did I call document.location? Am I being very, very dumb here? Yes, I'm being very, very dumb here. That should, there we go. And if we do that, what else do we want to do? How about just a JavaScript script open new window. So I should be able to do a window.open. For I is equal to 0, I is less than 1665, I plus plus, window.open RI. Rather than doing that many, we're going to start with 15, and this should work. So, thanks. Thank you very much. Nope. That one. That one. Oh yeah, that totally works. Look at that. Okay, so if we go back to this, we should actually be able to go like this. And hopefully, because we're using a real operating system now, running out of memory won't cause our OS to crash. Okay, we got this far. I'm a little curious about that, like, hanging that we saw. More windows. We get all of the windows. See, we're getting windows on windows. Let's get rid of that. We don't need to download videos. Scripts are what? Scripts are usually safe? Is that really a message that they used to tell people? Yes, run the scripts. I can't believe that's an actual message. Scripts are usually safe. So we pretty clearly did not actually get all 1600 windows open there, right? We also have something really weird going on with that window, right? I'm sure viruses are usually safe too, right, guys? Like, I should be able to run anything on my computer and it should be fine. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, we'll just start at 71 then. So if we start at... Oop, I don't want visual. Start at 71. Save that off. Close all these. Okay. Let's try this again. Yeah, I would not be surprised at all if, like, we're actually running some super dangerous stuff here. Yes. So none of these appear to be core dumping. That was 69 plus 69. So I have found a couple flash drives before, but it's never been, I never found one that had anything interesting on it. Or at least it was interesting enough that I didn't find it if there was anything interesting on it. So we're turning orange, which is good, right? But I believe this VM has half a gig of RAM, which for XP was all the RAM in the world. But well, this looks like it's working. Like, this looks kind of promising. I am really curious about those operation aborted messages, because they're a little bit concerning. Because generally that means that something happened, but it was able to recover from. And I don't actually know what that means in this context. But at this point, we're clearly just making this feel very sad. Like, our computer, very sad, not happy at all. It's interesting that, like, this looks like it's not rendering quite the same anymore, even. That's probably just a, being terrible. Can I find out what the error is? Will it tell me what the error is? So if we close all of this. Oh, hey, look at that. That's interesting. So these may actually be trying to core dump. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing here, is I'm hitting Alt F4 to try and kill them. But this is promising. Yeah, my hope was that we'd be able to take just a large corpus of existing tests and use that. The next option, if this fails, is we're gonna just grab like the old JS FunFuzz and run that. Because there's a lot of good public JavaScript fuzzers out there that we should be able to just grab one of them, throw it against this, and come back to crashes. But use voiceover to activate this button. Nice. So how many of these actually cause problems, right? So these two large strings crash and concat large strings crash 2 did a thing. I don't know what this thing is, but they did a thing. So let's kill these. So DOM concat large strings. I can remember that. Yes, force close. Force close. Imagine I'm doing the Jedi hand wave while I say that. Force close. Force close. Something like that. Force close. I mean, this is getting a little bit closer to having a crash. Like, if this is causing problems, clearly we're on at least somewhat of a right choice. Ah, yes, the Closio Levioso. That is also not working. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna restart again. When in doubt, reboot. Come on. Did I not even reboot this thing right now? Jeez. Okay, there we go. So JS DOM concat large strings should be where we are. Oh, come on. Wow, I made this VM very unhappy, didn't I? You're just going to die now. Reset. Yonk. Come on. And restarting. And restarting. And restarting. Okay. So, what happens if we just run that one? So if it has enough RAM, I would think that'd be able to just work. At least that's my guess. That may be fairly unfounded, though. Why are we back to this? I thought we had this working. Huh. Because this is what was happening when we didn't have the DLLs, wasn't it? And, I mean, last time we just waited a little bit and it worked, so maybe that's all we have to do here. Like, it's probably doing a whole bunch of error, like, it's probably erroring out because it can't find something. That's my guess. And again, I don't know if that's founded on anything or not. That is pretty much a, what do they call it, a WAG? It's the technical term for it. That is a wild-ass guess. And then if you're following the, what I'm looking for, if you're following the XKCD, of course you change the hyphenation there, so it is both the wild-ass guess and the wild-ass guess. And now we have, I think I've said that enough times now that the stream is now officially PG rated, which is exciting. But, you know, it happens. Why is this not loading now? Like, I thought we definitely had this working, right? Oh, we were still doing checks. Okay, I can live with that. So, layout tests. JS. Whoa, what is this? Huh. So I'm hitting Control F to find in page, and it's giving me this instead. So clearly that is a, one of the things we were replacing broke pretty hard, is what it looks like to me. DOM. And we said this was concat with a lowercase c. Concat large strings crash. Right, so this thing. Whee! Okay. It's not crashing, but what is it doing? I want to attach to a process. This thing. Attach. Like it's working. Huh. Oh, I'm seeing the same like low frame rate out of the VM. I imagine it has no ability to do hardware acceleration. Even if it was being passed in properly, I've got a like NVIDIA 1070 in this, and would be quite surprised if the Windows was able to handle that properly right now. This is still not working. That's interesting. So what exactly is this? So concat large strings crash to cd webkit manual or layout tests JS dom concat large crash dot html. So what is this? Oh, we are creating a very, 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 very large string, much larger than our RAM, and we're concatenating them together, and then we're using blink to flatten it. Okay. Huh. Okay, I will buy that this is a thing. Let's see if it works. We're actually going to let this run for a while, and while that's running, close some of these windows. JS Fun Fuzz. So JS Fun Fuzz was a one of the earlier JavaScript fuzzers. And for us to do this, how do I do this in a way that's going to just work? So to test an existing SpiderMonkey shell called .js, I don't have this available. Oh, maybe JS Fun Fuzz is much newer than I thought it was. Huh. DOM Fuzz. This is a thing, right? DOM Fuzz. Yep. We run this. We run this. How do I run it? Okay. So how do we actually run this? I mean, so this is the fuzzer that like JavaScript fuzzer I'm most familiar with. Unfortunately, it looks like this is fairly JavaScript specific. Downloading or building new versions of SpiderMonkey shell and running several instances. I don't really care about that. Tells it to run compare JIT on most of the generated code. I don't care about that. So this should work if I can figure out how to actually run it on IE. Here. IE fuzzing. Is there just a... Sure. I will trust whatever this is. This looks like it's promising. Yeah, this looks promising. That's not what I wanted. Where's this? So this looks like a thing. Okay, that's a thing. Are there any other? This is one written by Stephen Fewer. Needs Ruby, and that has way too many dependencies. That looks too complicated. Why is this turning up? That seems silly. Ooh, this looks promising. This looks super promising. Here we go. We can use, I guess, sticking with the, Michael Zalewski, tools. We did AFL previously. We can use something else he's written quite a long time ago. This seems promising, at least somewhat promising. What is mangle me? Mangle me. Yep. Trivial utility to automatically check for HTML parsing flaws, generates a basic set of badly mangled tags and requests with auto refresh back to the script so that you can point a browser to it once and let it run until it crashes. Sweet. We're going to... Oh, we already have this pulled down, don't we? That's convenient. So I should be able to go... Oops. Look at that. It's right here. Okay. So I need to set up CGI. Or use a CG... how do I do this again? Apache CGI. Because I probably need to actually turn that on, don't I? Need to make sure that the load module directive has not been commented out. And I need to actually tell it to have a script alias set up. Should just work, right? What's the worst that happens here? // webkit it build mangle me. Yeah, that looks like a thing. Okay, so we just need to actually point the browser at it. So cd /etc /apache /cd apache Yeah, Peach would work. We'd have to set everything up for it, and that probably is a little bit more complicated than this, which was designed to find bugs at about the right time period we're looking at. CGI, that's not there. Vim sites enabled / default / CGI. Conf available serve. Okay, so this is all turned on, so we should have a / CGI bin now that should work. So if, let's go back in here. So we want usr lib CGI bin. We're going to then cd back into var www HTML webkit build mangle.me ep both of these into / usr lib cgi -bin. And if we come over here, no. We're a little bit farther this time, it looks like. But we're just going to break that. Wait. And it'll die. Yep. So we have that. We're going to reload this. That's unfortunate. I apparently did not set this up properly. -r /usr /lib /cgi bin dot. Is that correct? Apache / conf enabled. Yeah, that should work. Directory allow override none. Yeah, that looks about right. Oh, that's going to be owned by root, isn't it? And if I do cat / var log apache 2 / error. I kind of expected that to just work, right? Oh, was it actually working and just not crashing? Security, custom level, reset to low. Okay. Trusted sites, 192.168. That. Add. Oh. Yep. We'll get rid of you. We want to add it as a trusted site because this way it'll run stuff. Yes. / angle. Why is that happening? We want to enable, sure, we're just going to run everything, right? Enable. Yeah, that looks good. Yes. Yes, I'm sure. Okay. Yes. Why? Okay, we're going to try this over here. 192.168.5149 / CGI -bin. Oh, do I need to restart Apache for this to take effect? That's not my password. Why am I logging into this directly? That's another question. Service Apache start. Okay. How about now? I would expect that to work, right? That's concerning. No, it's not. I'm lying. That's not concerning at all. Why is that not working? Etsy Apache 2 slash Apache 2.conf. Not there. Etsy Apache 2 Vim sites enabled. We are including it. Why is that not working? For most configuration files from conf available, which are enabled or disabled at a global level, it is possible to include a line for only one particular virtual host. For example, the following line enables the CGI configuration for this host only after it's been globally disabled. Okay. Let's just ask the Googles. Sure. I need to add handler. Can I just do this easily? This is too complicated. Okay, I don't want it to be this complicated. Sure. Let's just copy this over. I mean, what's the worst that happens, right? Service Apache 2 restart. And if we go up a level, we should go here. Apparently, odd that we stopped getting this. Okay. Denied. This is readable by everybody. Why is this failing still? Apparently I'm pretty bad at this. So Vim, Etsy, Apache, sites enabled. This thing. Start. Our log Apache 2 errors. No matching directory index. Okay. Oh, we're apparently. How do I enable directory listing again? Apache enable directory listing. Plus indexes? Is that it? Service Apache 2 restart. Okay, so that works again. It was Webkit build, mangle me, this thing. No, we just downloaded it again. That's not what I wanted at all. Right? Like cp webkit build mangle me dot. And if I do wget localhost slash mangle.cgi, Yeah, it's giving me the binary. That's not what I want at all. That's not what I want at all. Why is it doing that? Apache 2, sites enabled, this thing, yeah. Oops. Service Apache 2 restart. It's still doing that. No bang CP. Slash mangled. Why is it doing that? That's what this random thing that I got off the internet told me. Oh. I guess I can plus it, right? Ooh, okay. That's interesting. Oh, okay. Angle.cgi. Nope, we're still getting the wrong thing. Okay, do we actually have to read this and figure out what's going on? So we add handler, that's fine. It is executable. Come on, this should be relatively simple. Why is this complicated? Here, let's just dump this into. Why not? What is this doing? This is allowing a bunch of extra stuff. Localhost / CGI bin. Not found. Crap. A2N mod CGI. Where were we? We were using this one, I think. Yeah, this looks promising. We're just going to jam this back in here. And we wanted it to be /HTML. Service restart, or Apache 2 restart. Oh, look at that. There we go. Thank you very much. Mungadhan? Hopefully I pronounced that at least somewhat close. So that is all of that. Which means if we attach our debugger now, attach to a process, this thing, go. Come back over here, and I want to do a mangle.cgi. Yes. That didn't take very long at all. It would appear that that caused some problems. What is a C? Yes, yes. Definitely causing it to load all sorts of random modules, which is good. Okay. Well, that one's interesting. I've lost input to the VM. Oh, there goes. So what were we doing again? I want to do IE globally, IE enable scripts. Okay. Okay, I want to get rid of that error, that message I kept getting. So this is unfortunate, and I didn't actually think it through very much, did I? Like I assume it's some... No, stop allowing them to run. Can we stop running this now? Okay, so that went away. Oh, that looks interesting. So, where were we? I want to go into tools. I want to change permissions again. You're very unhappy with me, aren't you? Huh. Like, super unhappy. Come on. Hello, Flying Sky. Oh. Oh, look at that! We crashed it. That's not what I wanted at all. Okay. Internet options. Security. Sure, we'll assume this is internet. Enable. 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 Like, we want to enable all the scripts. Because we don't necessarily need this to be a, like, no user interaction exploit. We just want a browser exploit that will work on Windows 95. Why not, right? Like, we're just going to let you do everything you possibly want. Okay. Yep. Okay, let's try this one real quick. So, mangle.cgi. Okay. So, what is this error message, and how do I make it stop coming up? I guess it's not an error message, is it? Scripts are usually safe. Do you... Yes, how do I make this go away? Custom level, and it's the allow websites to prompt for information using scripted windows. Okay. Ooh. No, I want you to die. Stop. No, go away. Okay, we're going to reboot again, because this seems to be causing problems. We'll reset this. And we wait. And we wait. And we wait. Okay, and we should be just about up here again. So supposedly I want to go tools, internet options. If I can get it to load. Come on. Come on. Do it. You can do it, VM. You can do it. I believe in you. We already talked about this. Oh, right. It's doing that stupid AV check, isn't it? So because we did stupid things to our System32 folder, it takes a lot longer for it to boot properly than it used to. That's unfortunate, but, you know, it's not terrible. I can definitely live with that. And I guess compared to it not working at all, it's a pretty big success. We just have to wait a little bit longer every time I have to reboot like that. So, yeah, that's actually probably a really good idea, is once this actually loads, and we're good here, now I will checkpoint here, and we can revert to this. Booted. Okay, so we have this. We're going to attach again. We said we wanted, what was the option we wanted to change here? Websites to prompt for information using scripted windows. Why does that crash like that on me? Like, I start up WinDbg, and I think it crashes every time. Security, internet. So we said this was allow websites to prompt for... Yep, we don't want to prompt for anything. I want you to just do it. Don't care about what it is. I don't see this message. Like, I want you to just run. Like, don't notify me, just run it. Yeah, sure, we'll do this one. Does this one work? Oh, hey, look at that. Oh. Ooh. Is. Oh, I forgot to attach. That's unfortunate. Especially if that's the one that caused the crash. Okay. Yep. It is fascinating the number of additional modules that are getting loaded because of this. So, yet again, we've lost input to the VM, so I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Okay, so we're back to this. I'm not sure what's going on here, but we're very quickly hitting something which is, like, really making this VM unhappy. Okay. Okay, were there better instructions here? So, where were we? I want... How high is the CPU usage? So as far as my host is concerned, where is it? Our CPU usage is quite high right now. But most of that is going to... most of that is going to OBS, because it's trying to do, you know, on-the-fly encoding of reasonably high-quality video. Like right now, I can't send input to the VM. And I should have plenty of CPU for it. So, don't know. Why on earth does it say Node.js is running? That's something I need to fix. Seriously, why on earth do I have Node.js processes running on this machine? Ugh. Hello, Ghost. I really want to get rid of this error message, because if I can get rid of this error message... Okay, let's look up how to get rid of this error message. This is not what I wanted. Like, I want to get rid of this. I just want to get rid of this so I can let this run. Because if we can get this up and running and just run, I think I'm okay with us letting this run all night, or all weekend, or until Monday. Because grabbing some crashes this way would be pretty nice. But I need it to actually work for that to work. Come on. So to answer your question, Ghost, depends. On exactly what you're asking. So for my desktop, I currently prefer Windows. Because, and I've mentioned this a couple times now, my experience is that Windows, especially with VMs, tends to be much easier to use. Because Windows almost always has better support for my hardware. Which means that it's much easier on battery life, it takes much better advantage of my video card, things like that. Whereas Linux does not. Like, it works, usually will work on whatever hardware I have, however, it doesn't take advantage of my... oh, these can go away. I don't want you to prompt for anything. It does not take advantage of my hardware to its maximum capacity. At least that's been my experience. So what I typically do is I use Windows as a host, and especially recently, I've been using the WSL, and I thought that would work. WSL and a Ubuntu VM to get basically all the benefits of having Ubuntu running natively, but with essentially Windows as the underlying OS. That's what I typically use now, and at least personally, I found it works quite well. Can I just turn you off? Like, I want to just straight up turn off settings. Sure, let's try this one. Ugh. So this IE 55. I hope that answered your question. I know that I was getting a little bit distracted there trying to get things set up, so it might not. Okay. Control panel. Where is this thing again? Switch to classic view. I want internet options, advanced. What did I call this thing? Make sure that disable script debugging is checked and display a notification about every script error is unchecked. Well, those are both done. Yeah, the Bash on Ubuntu on Windows stuff is very much my favorite Windows feature of the year. Like, it has by far made Windows my default choice for a host OS. If you're not using it, I definitely recommend at least looking into it and deciding if it is a good solution for you. So it's not a full Ubuntu install, but it gives me almost everything I need, and when it doesn't, I'm able to SSH into a Hyper-V VM, which does everything else that I need. Oh, this is promising. Like, I just want this to work. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm at least a little bit surprised that it's this difficult to get this to just work. I just want this error message to go away. And if it does, then we're good. We can let this fuzz, but apparently getting that to actually work is a little bit more of a problem than I thought it was going to be. Okay, so that didn't do it. Yep, that is not a thing that's an option for me. Okay, sure, this looks like a random page. Yeah, I'm not sure what the answer here is. Like, this error message really should not be coming up if I understand the setting as options at all. I mean, one of the options here is that I just don't understand the setting at all. I do love that one of the significant things that's being tested here is like random things in a marquee tag. Because historically that has been a source of many, many bugs. Like, I think there was even a CV this year for putting a like null object in a marquee tab caused a crash in some modern browser. Like, I love that that is still being a thing that is causing problems for people. Come on. So, this is really frustrating. Like, this error should go away, and I'm not sure why it isn't. I need it to go away in order to let me fuzz properly, because otherwise it's going to keep stopping the fuzzing from going. We're going to keep looking here. Under ActiveS plugins, some of the settings must be prompt. Change them to enable. I love that that is advice. Yes, you should just always enable everything. Yeah, that is an option. We could just have it automatically click yes. I'd like to break in. What's going on? Okay, we're gonna give this another try. So let's go through these options one at a time, because of course we need to do that. If I go to security, custom level, enable, 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 prompt, enable, 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 enable. This word means nothing anymore. Like, I've now said the word enable so many times that it has, what's the word for that? There's a word for where you repeat a word enough times and it stops making sense to you. Oh, did that do it? Apparently, saying enable enough times made it just work. I'm gonna go with that as the theory here. Not that it was, looking through all those times. So this looks promising. Like, this looks like it's working. Of course, we forgot to attach our debugger, which is unfortunate. So it might be in the process of crashing right now, and we wouldn't even know. Come on. Come on now, VM. No! No, 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 no. Ugh. Okay. Tools, internet options. There are no sites that are trusted. There are no sites restricted. Like, this should just work. Okay. We have advanced in here. We want disable debugging, display notification about errors. That's fine. All of this looks fine, right? Yeah, I guess we might as well enable that. Okay, so none of those security things seem useful. Like, this looks right. If I understand what these settings do, I should stop getting error messages. Like, I should stop getting that script enabled warning. Yeah, using Sakuli is definitely an option. That's interesting. So we definitely got a nullity graph somehow? Interesting. Oh, that's not quite what we were looking for. Patch, go. And I want mangle.cgi. Is there anything else I can find on the internet about this? Okay. Wow, this is completely unreadable. Oh, here we go. This looks promising. Want to cry. Scripts are usually safe. I then have to close it. It is very annoying and it happens constantly. Don't care. Whoa. What? I deleted a folder from system32/cats and no more pop-up. What? Tools, custom level, under scripting, after scripting, enable. Okay, yeah, you know what? We can also do that. Let's do that. And then I can try and delete random files out of system32. It worked so well earlier. But, so we enabled everything on internet. We're going to enable everything here too. Enable. Yeah, I'm pretty much already sold. This VM is under constant abuse and is going to be very unhappy with me. Low safety. Okay. Yes, we want to change it. Okay. Let's try this. Ah. So supposedly, at least one person on the internet found that you actually had to do it in restricted sites too. Like, even though there are no sites in either of these zones, reset to low. Yes. Enable. Like, I really just want all of these errors to just go away. Seems silly that there's not an option for that. Like, I understand why it doesn't exist, but it still seems silly. I enabled prompting at the very top of the list. So I'm really torn about what that actually does. Because it feels like one of those, like, kind of suspicious messages. Ugh. I just want this error message to go. Like, it's not even an error message. It's a, like, warning. I just want that to go away. Seems so simple. Enable, 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 enable. Like, this should just work. So scripting, active scripting. Tools, internet options, security, custom level. So at least one person, someplace on the internet claims that that solved it for them. Why is it this hard to make this just work? Okay. It sounds like you have active scripting set to prompt. Well, oh, I guess that is an option, right? That while we've changed these settings, they're not going to take effect properly because we need to reboot. That is a possibility. So we've changed this for all of these, right? Enabled for everyone to do active scripting, whatever active scripting is. Huh, that is interesting. So you didn't find it in any of the files? Oh, that's bizarre. Okay. So we're restarting now and seeing if that fixes our problem. That for whatever reason, Internet Explorer was not closing fully enough for it to re-pull those settings. And hopefully they were, I'm lucky enough that that just works. So relying on getting lucky like this is not where I want to be, though. Like, I definitely would much rather have this work. But if it works, I'm not going to complain too much. Something about a gift horse and looking it in the mouth. Ah, yep, makes sense. Okay, so go here. This is going to take forever. We're going to try yet another checkpoint. You have to wait through this. Come on. Come on. We can get there. We can get there. Get there. This is such a painfully slow reboot process. Like, having to go through and wait for this because it's still doing that antivirus check. But my guess is that one of the DLLs we replaced it with doesn't support some of the API. Like, we replaced a whole bunch of DLLs in System 32. And my guess is that however Windows is doing its antivirus check here, like whatever Windows Defender is doing for that, is failing because it's trying to use one of the replaced DLLs and calling a function that doesn't exist. And like, we're going through this loop where it tries to call a function that doesn't exist, it crashes, it recovers, it tries it again, and then we're just going to keep doing that until some timeout happens. Like that. We have all this. We now want to attach our debugger. We're going to attach our debugger. Yep. Attached. Go. Nope. I really hate that it's like just long enough. Like it's just barely long enough of a time that I start thinking, oh, maybe this time it worked. It never just worked. So this is also an option that appears to be working, which is if I just hold down the Enter key, it automatically presses no, and I don't care anymore. That may be the solution here, is that I can just leave a wait on my Enter key and let it just automatically run through like this. Not ideal, but it'll work. I can live with that. What, the Homer Simpson fuzzing method? I can definitely live with the hold down the button and it'll just work solution. Actually, I think if I do that, I might continue sending the input. I don't know what the specifics of Hyper-V's like windowing thing are. So what I did was I was holding down Enter, and then I used the hotkey to leave focus of the window. And I know, no, it did not. Okay, I know on certain virtualization stuff, if you do that, it will continue sending that input. It never sends the key press up command, so it'll actually just keep sending it forever. I know there are all those tricks where you could do it with like a controller or something. Like I'm pretty sure many consoles had that problem, where like you hold down a button, you unplug the control, or you hold down the button while you plug in the controller, and it would just constantly hold that button down forever. But it looks like Hyper-V does not suffer from that. So with that said, I think the answer right now is, for the time being, we've been going for about 2.5 hours now. I think we're going to call it for an evening now. We've got this fuzzing kind of working, and I'm going to at least let it set up and run and see where we get to. So I'm going to leave a wait on my Enter key. It will continue pressing no to this command, and hopefully that's going to catch a crash soon. At least my hope here is that I will get a crash relatively quickly. I don't know for sure that that's going to work. That's my hope. And then by Monday, we'll be able to take a look at some of those. Alternatively, there was a description of a gallery with some samples that actually caused crashes. It'll probably be worth taking, see if I can track down that old gallery and see if maybe we can just grab one of those and play with it. Because at this point, we spent a while now trying to fuzz this thing, throw inputs at it, and hasn't really gotten much of it anywhere. So at this point, if we can't get new fuzzed cases, I'm okay with grabbing a old one that somebody else has looked at in the past and use that one instead. But with that said, at this point, I'm going to call it an evening. Like always, if anybody has questions or comments, feel free to let me know either in the comments here or send me a message on Twitter. If you haven't checked it out yet, I do recommend the PDF crack video. I'm going to try and put another video out for Friday. We'll see how it works. It sounds like I'll have to work a little bit late tomorrow night, so I'm not sure I'll get it out the door quite as early as I'd hoped. But my plan is for this Friday to put together a short video on bespoke gadgets. So if you're not familiar with them, bespoke gadgets are a trick that have become more popular in the CTF community over the past couple of years now. And the very short explanation is that rather than using a ROP chain with many gadgets in it to do something like create a shell, a couple different people have discovered tricks where a single ROP gadget exists, not necessarily a ROP gadget, a single gadget exists that will on its own create a shell. So the trick there is that if you find these, and each of them has a lot of caveats with it. There are certain things about the program's, the current execution state that have to be true. You're able to, if you can ever get program control to point at one of these gadgets, they will just automatically start a shell for you. So I think for Friday, the goal is going to be to write a quick little write-up about that, go through like what they are, how to use them, some of the caveats, things like that, and then a couple of examples of taking advantage of each of those. So I think it's going to be a video for Friday. I'm going to try and get it out the door, but like I said, tomorrow is a little bit iffy if I'm going to get it out quite right or not. But I've got a whole list. I'll show you guys this list. But I've been working on this nice list of different video ideas that at some point are all going to get made. Well, maybe not all of them, because I keep adding to this thing, but currently I've got a decent-sized list already of different things. We're going to keep adding to this over time. Like, I need to write scripts for a lot of these, but things like, suppose you have an arbitrary write. What are some different things that you can actually write to that'll do something useful? So the main example that I love to use here is the free hook in libc. You can talk about a few different options for it, why you'd pick one over the other, what to do with it. And the same with some of the like basics of dlmalloc. I also want to put together the actual videos for the other streams that we've done. And then some other like basic things like what the system that I use here for streaming is, put together a quick video about it, how I do the videos, things like that. And I've got a couple of other ideas that haven't gone on this sheet yet, but the basic version is I've got a lot of ideas for videos. My plan is to get one out every week. The real test is to see, can I actually manage to do that? Considering that I work a full-time job and do the streaming and all of that, but we'll see how it works out. So, like I said, thanks again everybody for tuning in. I'm gonna let this fuzz and hopefully it just works on its own. And I will see everybody on Monday. So thanks again, bye everybody. Bye.